Healing from an ulcerative colitis flare can be confusing and scary. And that's why I'm laying out these 5 crucial steps to help you heal from an ulcerative colitis flare. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, my name's Jacob and I've been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis for 10 years. And over that time, I've been able to deadlift 240 kilos, build a physique that I'm proud of, and get in the best shape of my life, all while suffering with the ups and downs of ulcerative colitis. The road to healing your ulcerative colitis starts with diagnosis. Without a diagnosis, we have no idea what's going on inside of our body. And my diagnosis journey was a complicated one. My doctor had no idea what was going on with me. She was telling me that I was pushing too hard on the toilet and it left me confused and I thought I was dying of bowel cancer. But that wasn't the case. It wasn't until I had an endoscopy and they took some biopsies that they found out that I have ulcerative colitis. So that's why this is the most important step on the road to healing. So once we've got a diagnosis and we know what's going on, the next step is to find a medication that works for you. This is a foundational step, as a medication is vital to getting out of your flare state. Without the right medication, you can be stuck in flare hell. This is the most foundational step, and people that say otherwise are probably trying to push some sort of herbal remedies on you. They want you to pay for something that isn't going to work. Medications are the only thing that brought me out of my life-threatening flare and got me out of hospital. And that's why I truly believe that this is one of the most important steps on your road to recovery. Without this step, this whole step system just crumbles apart. But this is all built upon your diagnosis, because without that, we can't actually give you the right medications. So this is why we're going up in order of importance. And medication is one of the foundational steps. This can be a complicated one. It could go on for some time if you haven't found a medication that works for you. And the best way that I've found is to have a completely open dialogue with your healthcare provider. For me, I was provided with a specialist nurse, and that's for inflammatory bowel disease. And I was allowed to have open communication via email. Things have changed since, but I was using email and I would update my specialist on how I was feeling. And that could just be mental things that were going on. Maybe this medication was making me feel strange. For instance, the first time I was given the medication prednisolone, which is a corticosteroid, I emailed my specialist and I said, I hate this medication. It's making me feel crazy and I don't want to continue using it. So she gave me an alternative, which was budesonide, which is a steroid with less side effects. Long story short, that didn't work for me, but it's nice to be able to have those substitutions of medications. And eventually I found a medication that brought me out of my flare. And then I could move on to the next steps. But finding that medication to heal your flare is of critical importance. And I urge to you to spend time on this and be honest. If the medication's not doing anything for you, you have to speak up. You can't sit here in this step not really finding a medication that doesn't bring you out of your flare, because without it, you're just going to be stuck here and you'll never be able to progress, because the other things, they just aren't that important until you found your medication. So the next thing, once you found your medication, is to focus on your sleep, diet, and exercise. So this is pretty an all-encompassing step for anyone. It doesn't just have to be for people with inflammatory bowel disease, but this will take your health to the next level. But without medication supporting you, then this isn't really going to do much. It might help you feel a little bit better, but you need that medication to bring you out of that flare. Just that can't be overstated enough. So now that we're on sleep, diet, and exercise, these are things you want to spend an equal amount of importance into each thing. You want to put 33% of your effort into everything all at once, because these all work together. And I like to call this the trifecta of health. If you improve your sleep, it will be easier to do exercise and it will be easier to eat right. If you have a bad sleep, it's going to be easier to eat bad foods and it's going to be easier to skip out and do an exercise because you feel tired. So these 3 things must be worked on all at the same time. And you don't have to take huge steps to do this. You can do it in incremental steps. It might just be working on your sleep, setting aside enough time for you to get the potential of 8 hours sleep. I'm not even saying get 8 hours sleep. I'm saying just set aside a time so you have enough moments there to try and get 8 hours sleep. Same with diet. Just take away some of those foods that are not helping you. Only you will know the foods that are causing you flares, but work on your diet. Keep a logbook of what is affecting you, how it's affecting you. If you eat a certain food, for me, pizza, if I eat pizza, within half an hour, I'll be curled up in a ball in agony. So I just have to write that out of my diet. Sometimes I slip up and I do eat it. And that's okay every now and then. You can slip up. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. But diet, yes, keep a logbook and try and eat healthy foods. We all have an idea of what healthy foods are. Just follow your gut instinct of what foods work for you. Exercise, again, you can start simply by just going outside for a walk. You don't need to lift weights like I've been doing. You can, move on to lifting weights as you start to feel healthier and get more energy as these things synergize and make you feel better. But to begin with, might just be going for a walk. Or even if you're struggling for that, you could just sit in your sofa and stand up. Sit back down and stand up. You're doing squats right there. That's going to help work your legs. Everything to do with exercise is completely scalable to your ability. And that's why I love working on exercise, because it can work for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a 90-year-old lady who's struggling to get out of bed. There are things that you can do in bed to help with your rehabilitation. It can scale to exactly your needs. So now that we've got sleep, diet and exercise, medication, and your foundation of a diagnosis in order, we now move on to community. And this is something I found very important. Some would say equally important to sleep, diet and exercise. Maybe even more important, well, maybe not more important than medication, but it is a foundational step, and that's why it is on this list. Having people to talk to and to share your experiences with is very important. You can't be doing this alone because it really affects how you're feeling. If you're struggling with IBD and you've got no one to talk to, it could feel like an immense amount of pressure, and it could build up a lot of anxiety and fear. There's a lot of things going on, When you look down in the bathroom, in the toilet, and you see bright red everywhere, it looks like a battle scene, you kind of need to talk to someone about it. And the best place to talk to that I've found is actually to other people who've got IBD. Now, there are quite a few Discords that I just found a Discord. I typed in IBD Discords, and there's loads of people with IBD on there. And they know exactly what you're going through. Or you can go on Reddit. Anywhere online, it's easy to find people going through the same experiences as you. Even on this channel, you can write in the comments, I know exactly what you've been going through. I've been having ulcerative colitis symptoms for 10 years. And it could just be talking to your specialist nurse, talking to your family, telling them what's going on, talking to people at work. Whoever you feel like you can confide in, talk to them, because this is really important. Without community, we're all just working in silos, and it's going to make you feel very isolated and fearful, and we don't want that. As we age, community becomes more important, and it can increase your lifespan. So finding friends that you can share your experiences with and confide in you as well is of utmost importance. So find a community, whether it be online or in person, just find people that you can talk to. So the last thing on my steps is consistency. You want to keep doing the things that are working, and the longer you do it for, the more of an impact it will have. These are the 5 steps. So you've got your diagnosis, you take your medication, and you stay on your medication. You start working with sleep, diet, and exercise, you keep working on it. You find your community and you keep sharing. Stay active in that community. Just keep consistent with all of these things, because if you slip up, say you stop doing sleep, diet, and exercise, then your health might go into decline, and then you're going to have to lean more on the medications. The thing is, the more you work with your sleep, diet, and exercise, it's almost as if the medications become more effective because your body's going to be in a better state. The more you work on your mental health, talking in your community, the more motivated you're going to feel to work on your sleep, diet, and exercise, and the more effective your medications will be. It's sort of a feedback loop. Do all of these things and you will start healing. But it all starts with diagnosis, then medication. And I just wanted to touch upon, once you've done these and you are being consistent, then you can start messing around with these herbal remedies you might see online. natural remedies. Natural remedies. This is something that I don't use Facebook much, but I joined an ulcerative colitis support group on Facebook, and you get a lot of these bots touting natural remedies, and I have no idea really what they're talking about, and they'll just go on about it and tag some doctor and be like, this doctor healed me from ulcerative colitis. I don't need to take medications. And I feel that this is quite a dangerous thing to say, because like I've already said, I think that medications are one of the foundational steps. I tell you, if I wasn't on my medications, I don't think I'd even be here. They healed me. They allowed me to work on my sleep, diet and exercise and join a community, be consistent. Without that, it would all crumble down. I'd probably have had my bowel removed. Who knows where I'd be? But once you've been doing the 5 foundational steps to health and healing, then I would suggest you can mess around with natural remedies, but not without that foundational base. You know, I do take things like CBD. I take things like lemon balm tea. Lemon balm tea. I have hot baths. This is something you can do at any phase, really. It's not really a natural remedy, but hot baths. You could have herbal teas. Herbal teas. There could be mushrooms. There's so many natural remedies that you could try, but you must do the 5 foundational steps to healing before you can mess around with this. And once you've got to here, you might find something that does really help you. I'm not saying these things don't help. There might be something here that really improves your life. Like, I especially love hot baths. Lemon balm tea, something that really helped me. CBD, I can't really say it really helped me, but it makes me feel a bit better. That, you know, some people might be smoking weed. I wouldn't suggest that, but some people find that helpful with Crohn's. Maybe you might help it might help you with pain relief. Any of these things could help you, but you need that medication to back it up just to keep you out of that flare. Because the longer you stay in a flare, there is a more likelihood that you will get bowel cancer, and none of us want that. And that's really what it all comes down to, is taking the medications to keep you from getting something worse or having a life-threatening situation. So if you want to take control of your healing journey and thrive with IBD, then go down to the description and click the link, because there's going to be something there that you don't want to miss out on. And you can start taking control of your life so you can start to thrive with IBD. Click that link and I'll see you there.